What's up? Welcome back to the 30th episode of GamerVice. Say hi to my friend Kevin over there, people. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I didn't realize it was the 30th episode that we've done. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man. We've actually have stuck with it this time around. This is probably us trying to do a podcast, the third iteration of like trying to stay consistent with it, I would say, right? This is the third time we tried to really start this thing.
Right.
But we're trying to stay consistent. You know, we need to get a little better getting these videos out once a week. The holidays slowed us down, you know, things like that. But now we're coming at you guys strong. 2024, man. We're gonna keep spinning them out, but we need your guys' support. So, man, don't forget to like the video, share the video, comment on the video. You know, just interact with us. Let us know what you're thinking. But it is another week, 2024. We got gaming news, but not only gaming news. There's a lot of, things that go along with gaming. A lot of hardware things happening towards the second half of January here. A red versus green battle. Okay, not your typical blue versus green that we're used to when it comes to the consoles. But Kevin, you want to let the people know what we're talking about?
Yeah, so any PC gamers out there, I'd actually be really interested to know how many people that listen to us actually play PC versus play on console.
That's true.
It's actually interesting because a lot of the games that we talk about, especially nowadays, a lot of games are crossplay, so they're on multiple platforms. So, like for us, for instance, I know you have current gen consoles. I personally just play on my PC.
Just this little bad boy. Well, I forgot. I actually do have the PlayStation 5, but that is strictly, I guess, at this point, literally for exclusives or any couch co-op.
Yeah, which is fine. But as far as PC gaming goes, CES is currently underway. I think there's still a day or two left of it. It's like a convention, almost like an electronics expo, where a whole bunch of the big name companies come together and they showcase what they're planning on releasing in the upcoming months or in the upcoming year. So Samsung, LG, they come out with their TVs. I don't know if you've seen it. They have transparent TVs now. It's really awesome. It's so crazy. It's sci-fi. But as far as PC gaming goes, Nvidia just announced their 4000 Super series. So they're going to now release the 4070 Super, the 4070 Ti Super, and the 4080 Super. And they're all going to be competitively priced. I say that in the sense of what is out in the market right now. If you look at the market 3 years ago, these prices have just been skyrocketing, unfortunately for PC gamers. But as far as these go, compared to what AMD has out, they're competitively priced, and they look like each segment beats what AMD brings to the table at that same price point. Yeah. So if you're looking for a PC upgrade, if you're looking for a graphics card upgrade, these cards are the ones to get, in my opinion. We've dabbled in AMD cards. I think that we both can agree that AMD has some things that they got to work out as far as like driver updates and optimization.
Yeah. So I am starting to. I was having a rough time with my newer card, but ever since my cleanup and everything, and then I guess these new drivers that came out, I will say, and then finding that out, because some of this information too that I will be giving does come from a guy called Ancient Gameplays, I think it's called. He does a lot of AMD coverage mostly, but it's all about like the hardware and doing testing on graphics cards. But he's the one that I can only find. It's so hard to find people that talk about AMD and like, I guess, quotes, expertise and focus it on like trying to get the best performances out of the AMD cards, because you can see so much Nvidia stuff. Even when you look up for OBS settings or streaming, it's, your Nvidia card. It's like, okay, how about the 10% that has the AMD card? Like, nobody seems to be doing content on it, but Ancient Gameplay does content on it. But ever since I started following him, have his videos to guide, like, I am enjoying my AMD card, but there is just that little tweak that Nvidia has right now. I guess it comes down to the ray tracing is realistically what it comes down to. Like with Nvidia AMD, I feel like the battle and like those frame generations, but they keep going back and forth with the FSR3 and the DLSS3. And it's like you can do FSR3 on Nvidia cards though, like they're not gatekeeping that.
Yeah.
But I guess the theme that's starting to happen is I don't know how low you can go, but it's like I also know in the past there was a point where it was like a true budget PC, like $500-$600. Now it's looking like you can't make something like 750 might be like a good budget PC, and it's like 750 is not even that much of a budget. Like I'm thinking like if you want to start now as PC gamers, right? Like you want to steal the console market, you kind of got to start getting into that price range. And there's a lot of components. It's not just the graphics card that go into the PC. So it's like you need all the parts, hence
Right.
the total price. But like I'm noticing all this rambling, AMD now is dropping a 7600 XT, which is supposed to be like the low end budget card. But after a bunch of testing, and it's like a low end card, but it has 16 gigabytes of VRAM. And now I'm starting to figure out because it's like, ooh, the foolery. They still put it on like the old chipset. The XT is supposed to be like this higher version card and actually supposed to perform better. And right now they're kind of getting exposed and that they're kind of pulling Nvidia when Nvidia had the 4070 Ti and the 4080. And then people found out it was literally the same exact card. It's actually messed up that they're using this naming like this and confusing people that really don't know that much about it. Like me, who I feel like does a lot of research, I'm just starting to see, I'm like, oh, these guys are great. Like, because to me, when I go to buy these, I would like for the job to be done. And by the job is like, yeah, they were naming them. Ooh, this one's a higher, newer name. Like that card should be better. But I'm starting to find out that's not the case. So I wonder how many average consumers like that they fool, you know, because the 7600 and the 7600 XT, there's like now $80 or $60 price difference. And it's literally apparently the same card, clock speeds based off of what you're pushing and playing and everything. Apparently it's identical still on the Navi 32 chipset, whatever. I don't really know that stuff. I just know that's the lingo that these guys use when they say it's the same chipset. It should have been a different chipset if it's actually going to be better.
Right.
And they're just saying, so basically there's just 16 gigabytes of VRAM more, and that you don't really, because of all the other stuff in the card, it's not even like you're experiencing or gaining that performance of the 16 gig because it's like, I don't know. It's crazy. I just want to get to a spot, man, where just like it comes with the games and we get on developers, these hardware developers, man, like let's not start playing with us, okay? And we're starting to overcharge. So the last thing is the blue team when it comes to this that's slowly making its way. And I know you've mentioned the card is everyone's waiting to see if Intel can start to get market share, but they can't come out with high-end prices. Like that's what with this Battle Mage series, they need to lowball. So it forces the other guys to lowball. Like if they want to even start, because no one is going to buy their card realistically if it is going to be the same price. And they are behind on drivers and performance like wise on games with their drivers. Like, so they need to drop a cheaper card, like significantly cheaper card, and then start to steal market share and also have a good card. But that's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I mean, Intel definitely. Here's the thing. I know that Intel is kind of new to the discrete graphics card market. They just released their first generation graphics card set, I think last year or 2022 into 2023. And then this year, probably towards the end of 2024, they're going to release their Battle Mage graphics cards, which is the second generation of their discrete cards. What people forget is that I understand graphics cards is a new segment for them, but Intel has been making processors since the start of computers, basically. Like back in Intel Pentium, like those like when we talk about like those Dell Gateway computers that we played on 15, 20 years ago, those were on Intel. They've been time. So it's not like they don't or they couldn't have the research and development necessary to make their graphics cards better. they are behind 100%. They do need to lowball, like you said, they do need to lowball AMD and Nvidia to gain market share. And I think they're going to do just that. When they release these new cards, I think that they're going to be, mind you, they're going to release probably at the end of this year. Those cards are probably going to be compared. Intel's probably going to compare them to the cards that AMD and Nvidia have right now. So in that sense, they're going to be behind at least 6 to 12 months from whatever AMD.
They keep to stay a step behind, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also hurting them. At least for the people that want new all the time.
Exactly. But in that sense, I think that helps them be able to say, okay, but our high end, whatever their high end is going to be, whatever that market is probably going to be like 25 to 33% less of a price than whatever AMD and Nvidia are trying to sell you. So in that case, I think they are going to get market share that way. To your point about budget PCs, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think you're right. I think budget PC now means $750, $800 at the minimum. I mean, we're talking about, generally speaking, this is a general rule of thumb. Half of your budget for a gaming PC, half of your budget most likely will go to the graphics card. Yeah. So if you're talking about $800, you're talking about a $400 graphics card. If you look at what you can get for $400 right now, it's like a good 1080p graphics card, a really good 1080p graphics card, which is to say, in 2 to 3 years, that's not going to hold you that well. That's not going to hold up that well.
If you're making the full change, that's if you're making the full change and you're going to be a PC gamer. And then to not even cut you off, like peripherals, the mouse and keyboard, you can be cheap, but like between the two of them, probably spending somewhere between $80 to $100 on the lower end side if you're on the budget side. But like that's 100, like that goes into it. And then if you were somebody, I mean, it seems like gamers with consoles have been getting into the monitor thing. But like if you don't have a monitor, now you kind of got to need a monitor. And then now you're talking like, oh my God, if it's your first time PC entry person, like you can't even like, and I'm assuming like who would make a budget PC? I feel like it's someone who already doesn't have a PC. So if you are talking about budget PC, it's got to be a new entry person. And so they need the monitor, the mouse and keyboard, and then the computer. Like it's not easy.
It's not. But yeah, I think budget PCs, whatever, I think budget for a PC now is changed from what it was 3-4 years ago. Now it's up around 750 minimum and upwards. And that sucks because there's so many benefits to having a PC, especially if you don't do anything, if you do things other than gaming. It just makes so much, the more it's just the more it makes sense. The more you do other than gaming, the more sense it makes to invest in a computer. But
unless the only thing you can maybe get yourself around 500 is if you're truly somebody who likes to, I mean, and when I say gamble, I just mean like, I just know me, especially for someone doing it for the first time, I want at least new products. You could find used products, but we're giving you, obviously, if you started from scratch buying new products and finding deals on new products. But there is the way of, buying used parts you can get lower. But that's like a risk, or, I mean, I just don't like used stuff, you know what I mean? But hey, to each their own.
I just hope moving forward, AMD and Nvidia specifically, they keep their prices where they're at. They're obviously high right now. I'm not saying obviously we'd like to see them come lower, but at the very least, don't price gouge us even more. Like, right now, the 4080 Super is coming out, that they're just releasing at the end of the month, is coming out for $1,000. $1,000 is a lot of money. Let's not get that twisted. It's a lot of money. The 4070 Super is coming out for $600. $600 is still a lot of money. That's still more than a console in itself. Yeah. But when they bring out the 5000 series, which is, we're going to assume it's at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, just like this announcement was, then at the very least, just keep the prices the same. The 4070 Super, $600. The 5070, $600. If you just do that at the very least, then people won't be incredibly pissed. Like, it's just what we expect. It's not a bad surprise.
Yeah. And or if you're gonna start giving these prices, you better start being transparent with cost that on what it takes you to make the card and all that, because boy, it's out of control. But look at us, man. We told you, man. GamerVice giving you all the vice you need, and we out here talking about GPUs, computer components. You know what I mean? So moving on to some more hardware. Kevin, Switch 2. What are your thoughts? Do we finally have some conversations about the Switch 2? Is Nintendo done playing hard body? We keeping and holding on to the Switch, or what? What is happening?
I think they are. I think that they were bluffing when they said that they're going to keep it for another year. I think it was like until their fiscal year. Their fiscal year ends, I believe, February. So March 2024 is Nintendo's new fiscal year. And so I think either at the end of February or the beginning of March, we're probably going to hear an announcement. That's my guess. That's my guess. The GamerVice 2023, we had a whole bunch of guesses, and we were probably like 2 for 20 in the guesses. So let's see if we can turn that around. My guess, first guess of 2024 is going to be the Switch 2 is going to have some type of announcement either the end of February or early March. And the rumored specs are that it's going to be basically an upgraded current Switch. So the rumors are that it's not necessarily going to be an evolution of any type. It's just going to be like upgraded internal specs for the most part. You're going to get a better screen. The screen's going to be 120 hertz. It's going to have a better chip inside. It's going to have more RAM, which is going to help with the smoothness of the gaming. And it's going to have 64 gigs of internal storage, which is fine. It's whatever, because you're always going to use a micro SD card for a Switch anyways. And it's going to cost roughly $400, which I think the current Switch now costs what, like $350, I think it is, or $300, somewhere around there. So that's not the craziest price increase, even though it is a little bit. But yeah, I think they play it safe, but the Switch has been killing it as far as sales anyway. So they don't really, there's no need for them to really switch it up that much, pun intended.
Yeah, it's like, for the sake of like pushing the boundary in gaming and knowing those 4 or 5 plus more exclusives that they have that people now are waiting for more power out of, like the Pokemon, the Zelda. Granted, it's a great game when I talk, but like, look how great it is. And seeing what people really are doing though with consoles and games, it's like, imagine if they had more power to work with, Mario. And now you got the Rogue Ally, the other thing, the Steam Deck. These guys are starting to dabble into the handheld thing. Obviously, it's like kind of a different game because, again, the reason Nintendo's kind of safe is because it's Nintendo. It has its games that you're not getting anywhere else. So that's saving it. But I'm saying, I think us as a people want to see the more power finally come out of Nintendo. Like the leap, like when Switch came out, oh my God, amazing. But I'm saying like they're kind of staying 4 years ago, they're staying back 4 years. Because like in their eyes, again, like you said, their sales are killing it. They really aren't actually worried. Like sales are clearly fine. But I guess for gaming in general, to see progress, like, man, do we want to see the next leap, like the next true console? So if it's really just a few updates in there, that's still not the Switch 2.0 that I would like to see. But 120 hertz screen, like that sounds nice. But we just said how it's like Switch ain't even that strong. Is it even pushing 60 frames on games? Like that's the argument. You know what I mean? Like Pokemon having its frame issue, like.
Yeah.
Like that, like, so okay, I get 120 hertz, but for what? Like, what am I getting 120 hertz on? So,
for Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Pac-Man, gotcha. Got it with crispy. But that's just where I stand on the Switch. I love the Switch, man. And I say I love the Switches. I don't play it enough. But like, it is Nintendo, and Nintendo will always be in its own safe space, killing it.
Yep.
So
it's true.
They have the freedom to do what they want. In other news, though, moving away from the hardware, Call of Duty Warzone, Call of Duty in general, are they having an identity crisis? And I say that because there has been some new news surfacing as of yesterday. Raven Software tweeted with the Warzone Season 1 Reloaded update. Notice how they did Season 1, and then you see the word reloaded again. Repeating. Is all this does. This next game literally is a remake of an old game. They literally just keep cycling. But anyways, let me get back to it. With the Warzone Season 1 Reloaded update next week, we'll be introducing Covert Exfil, a challenging new way to escape the match that provides players with one of two methods to secure the weapon case. You heard that right, weapon case, and I was talking about Warzone. Successfully extracting via Covert Exfil does not count as a traditional win, rather as a separate stat, and will not count towards Champions Quest progress, whatever that. It must be a new thing in the game. More details and design intent will be provided in the patch notes next week. Now, Kevin, you remember DMZ?
Yep.
Okay. And we've heard, I actually don't fully know, but we've heard of Tarkov, right? We've heard of the Docs game, Midnight's Dead Drop. Those are, and like I said, DMZ, which is a mode in Call of Duty, an extraction shooter. So you're leaving the map because you're trying to leave with stuff. It's not King of the Hill. It's not Top Daddy Last Alive. Okay. That exists. DMZ exists in Warzone already. The weapon cases, remember, it was like a thing the way you had to try to get those weapon cases. That's like part of that game mode. Clearly with this tweet now, they're saying weapon cases are in Battle Royale. They're not in it right now, so it's clearly part of the update. They're going to add them. But Warzone is Battle Royale, or so it's what we thought. That's why we're here talking about it. Identity Crisis. Battle Royale is drop 50, 60, 80, 100 people onto the map, whether it's solo, duo, trio, quads, last man, last group standing. Now, it necessarily maybe doesn't affect the person who actually is the last man standing, but now I'm just saying it takes away more people that might actually be fighting in the gameplay. Like, it's weird because, yes, so now you're telling me I'm playing Battle Royale, but I can go into a Battle Royale match and exfil, but I didn't win, but I got a new stat that is an exfil stat. Like, what? I don't, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, are you an extraction shooter? If so, literally that's what DMZ is for. Like, I don't understand why you're letting people extract out of Battle Royale. Battle Royale means Battle Royale. Like, I'm trying to be last man standing. Unless, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. Do I got it twisted? Kevin, what are your thoughts? I just don't know what the hell this game's doing anymore.
Yeah, it's a weird concept to add to Battle Royale because, like you said, Battle Royale should just be you drop 60 to 100 people on a map, last person or group standing wins. That's what a Battle Royale is. This whole thing about adding a weapon case to then you or your group get the weapon case. So I was reading up a little bit on this. You or your group get the weapon case, and then you guys are marked on the map for everybody to see. Okay. And then you have to purchase at the buy store. You have to purchase a Covert Exfil.
Yeah, you have to purchase the helicopter that comes, but it comes right there to the buy station. Okay.
Oh, exactly. And then you leave with the weapon case, and you get exclusive rewards based off of your Covert Exfil. What the hell does that have to do with Battle Royale, though? That sounds like something that they could have put in like the zombie mode or something. I don't know.
You know what's funny though? Because now I'm thinking about it, then it's tied to progress. This is what they don't realize, that they're kind of breaking their own game mode, because I know exactly how this goes. Because it's honestly like a mind thing. It's like a mind F, because it even happens to me. I guarantee you I would be trying to do it. You know why? Because now I'm thinking, ooh, Battle Royale. But now, new update. Ooh, here's this quest, a Champions Quest, basically whatever you can call this. Guarantee you it's like doing a limited time content, aka cosmetic event. Yeah. So essentially its own separate battle pass, whether you have to pay for it or not, right? So fine. Now you threw it into the game mode, but now it's the cosmetics that are kind of free, because, you know, people don't really want to pay for cosmetics, but that's literally microtransactions is so much in Call of Duty. Now they have literally like you got pro athletes that you're a pro athlete shooting a gun now and you're on the Warzone, or you're a kitty cat. Like the skins that they have, it doesn't make sense. Nicki Minaj out there on the Warzone. But now I'm dropping into the match, but now in the back of my mind, it's like, oh, but like here's that pointless progress. They added that new thing, and now I see it. Like I got to make progress towards that. So you might get more battles in Battle Royale, But now it's also like you got people worried about trying to do that in Battle Royale rather than actually do Battle Royale. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's going to get in a weird spot because then it's going to be literally people trolling. Like it's going to be a toxic thing that gets added to the game mode. That is not true to that game mode. Like, you know what I mean? And people be like, oh, why are you bitching about it? Oh, because then you're not. No, I'm just saying it's like in a weird place. Like, that's not that game mode. That's not Battle Royale anymore, if you ask me that. Like, I guess unless it's like you trying to put a mechanic into it. Because like you're saying they'll get marked on the map, but it's like then do most wanted and bounty money and like I don't know, like because you're literally trying to leave the map. That's what kills me there. Like I can get like maybe it should be progress. Like yo, there's weapon cases. This is actually here we go. Okay, you want more progress towards that new update, the new cosmetics? Okay, there's weapon cases on the map. Now get a weapons case. You'll be marked. You're maybe start earning money the longer you're marked. But like you're still trying to win. You can't just leave. And if you actually win the game with the weapons case on you, then okay, you get more progress. And then you could say wins and wins with weapon case. That would still be Battle Royale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there you go. I don't know. Who am I? Just some guy sitting by his computer, teacher by day, loser by night, playing video games. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I do feel like there's going to be, especially in the beginning, a lot of people are going to go for this weapons case because number one is new. Number two, it gives you exclusive rewards. But for the people who don't give a shit about the exclusive rewards, because I'm sure there are going to be people who just don't care. Like they just want to play their Battle Royale.
Yeah, no, there will people,
You think about it, say 100 people drop and 20% of them are going for this weapon case and you're not one of them. That means you're less likely to see people because you're just doing your Battle Royale shit. And these people are on the other side of the map trying to fight over a case. That's not what you're there for. So you're probably going to see less people if you're not there for the weapons case.
But if you're not there for a weapons case and then you got big cojones, you could purposely, I don't know how they're going to mark them on the map if they're clearly marked before you drop. Like again, now I'm speculating. Yeah. And that's where it's going to be like, oh, here's these 5 spots. And now those are the only 5 hotspots of the map though. But now that also goes to you're wasting your entire map. Like that's not supposed, like, you know what I mean? Because now those are all going to be hot drop spots. Everyone's going to go drop with a weapons case. So there will be battles, but they're going to be ugly battles. Like, you know what I mean? It's like weird. It's just going to be sloppy. 5 teams dropping on a weapons case.
It's just one case in the map, though. It's a single case each map. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was 5. I don't know why I thought I read 5 weapon case. I don't know why I thought I read 5.
I don't know. They're
so there you go. Then it's going to be literally one hot drop every time, though. And it's going to break up the flow of the map if you think about it. Or the quality drops possibly.
Or the other, like you said, or the other thing is it's going to be such a crazy hotspot that
if the map gets wiped out in the first 2 minutes. Exactly. And then what? Now there's the people that did drop far are so, and it's going to take the wasted, that awkward 10 minutes where you're waiting for the smoke to get smaller and smaller. So yeah, that actually, again, now it takes away some flow to the game rather than falling and kind of getting in a consistent battle every 2 minutes. Yeah. Terrible. Who knows? But we've been wrong before. Maybe this is the best thing they've ever done in an update, and watch Call of Duty maybe gets hot now. Who knows? Now that they got the great opposite curse from GamerVice here that we like to.
There you go. But there's one last game that we need to talk about. Yes. Only because we mentioned it in the last video, and news came out as we were uploading that last video that this particular game,
it just seems to be that one random game that has caught the hype train.
Yeah, exactly. For the end of the month, this game is going to be the game, I think. Palworld is coming out June 19th. That is not the new news. Palworld,
January 19th.
I'm sorry,
you said
I said June. You're right. I said June. January 19th. That is not the new news. It's still coming out in the middle of this month. The news is this game, Palworld, is going to come out on Xbox Game Pass for the Xbox and the PC, which means for all of us who keep giving Microsoft $15 to $20 a month, we can just play this game without even, we're still paying for it, but just not the conventional way.
Absolutely. No, again, man, Pokemon with guns in their hands, building bases, eating each other. I don't know what the hell's going on. It sounds like some fun little chaos because I like the colorful art style in games. I always like that from games that are so moody and drown, like so dead with brown and blacks and grays, like all the war games. I always like my colors every now and then, and this looks like one that's gonna provide that. So I hope we can get a good couple hours out of it, and maybe a good couple hours turns into 40, 50, 60 hours, you know? But we'll start small. Let's see if we can get 5 hours of fun out of it. That's my expectations, but Xbox making some noise. PlayStation folks will not be able to play this one. So Steam and Xbox, you know, consoles like that, and Microsoft, I guess, Xbox on desktop. Now I'm just babbling. But Palworld, Kevin, what do you think? Before we end here, because we had a longer episode talking hardware.
Yeah.
If we had to give this game, because I guess it's technically early access too.
It is.
People
it's
are
still
forgetting
early
to
access.
mention. But like, see what I mean? Early access, but now you're dropping it on Xbox. Like that's like Steam's early. Like now this is a game, bro. You can't be dropping this on Xbox and Steam and saying early access. It's out. What do you think the review number will be? The rating.
The rating of it, I think it's going to be very mid.
Metacritic. Okay.
I think it's going to be mid. I think it's going to be like a 6.5, 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. All right. Yeah.
I think people are not going to give it. Yeah, I think people are just going to like shit on it because it's not a Pokemon game. It's not quite a base builder. They're going to say that they probably stuffed gunfire gameplay into this type of a game. But for people who can just enjoy that mashup, even if it's not done 100%, like it's not like completely polished, especially because it's going to be early access. I'm sure some of us are going to.
This company.
Yeah, I'm sure some of us are going to have fun with it.
Yeah, we're definitely intrigued to see what happens. But developer, publisher, let's see what they got. Okay, because they don't really have much of a track record. So yeah, that does it for us here, folks. Don't forget, man. You guys let us know what you think about any of these topics down below in the comments, man. Let's get in a heated discussion or a cold discussion. You know what? But nobody ever says that stuff, right? Anyways.
Let's get in a cold discussion. Hilarious.
Nah, for real, man. Like the video. Let us know how we did. Communicate with the folks over here, man. But Kevin, any last words for the people?
Hey. So all you people who enjoy COD, let us know if this is the new thing or if they just screwed Battle Royale up even more. And for the rest of us, save up our pennies for these new graphics cards. That's it.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you already know what it is. GamerVice out. GamerVice giving you all the vice you need. See you in the next one. 30th episode.
Done. Peace.